Well, yeah, I mean, one of the things that interests me too is that, on stage everything's, at a distance, and this was an opportunity, to get up close and look at people's eyes, and I mean, that was the thing, like, to get a close up like on Johnny and see the sort of anger and the pain and the loss and the sadness, and to be able to look at the actors and see their internal feelings was something that you can't do on stage. So that was what made it feel much different and much more like a film than a stage production.
Early talks with Tim was that we didn't want it to be able. You want anybody to be able to compare our Sweeney, this version of Sweeney, to the other ones. We wanted it to be. We knew we had one opportunity to do this, and that we should do our best to be as original as possible. So I hope he's different. Although the other guys were very, very good, I just wanted to do something outside.
Well, probably because I've got a funny face, which makes people think, well, maybe he'd be interested in playing weird characters, as opposed to, I've got a kind of persona that can be very, very ordinary, where I've done lots of characters with, like Mike Leigh, who are downbeaten, ordinary guys who are neither perverted nor strange. They're just guys trying to get on with their lives. To the other extent, where I play sexual perverts, monsters, and weirdos. Nothing in between. It is a story of revenge. I mean, it has its influences come very much from English literature, from the Restoration, the literature, the Jacobean literature of revenge as tragedies, which then gave birth eventually to the Gothic horror in Edgar Allan Poe and Wilkie Collins and people of that ilk in the mid to the late 19th century. There's a history of that kind of literature in our society, which eventually gave birth to Hammer horror films and so on and so forth. So I think this is an homage to that style, which actually, if you deconstruct it, was based on sexual repression. The Gothic English literature of its time, say for instance Bram Stoker's Dracula, is all about sexual repression. And I think this, to a certain degree, is a revenge of sexual tragedy. So I think that is what makes it so interesting. You have this cast of pretty reprehensible characters, people who are deeply hurt, looking for vengeance, and plus the fact that it's added to this beautiful music is a wonderful incongruous juxtaposition of the two things. And I think that's what makes it interesting.